challenge, everybody checking in 30 times. Like, I just woke up, I just went to the bathroom, I just ate breakfast, 30 days of check-ins. I mean, this is our marketing, so we need 30 days of check-ins. And say you're out of town, you can still tag VIP Fitness, so just be aware of that. But if you go to the little tag button, and you can tag VIP Fitness. When you do your workouts, this will be much easier for us to track them at the end. You're going to do workout number 1, then workout number 2, then workout number 3, day number 3. It's a lot easier to track it at the end. And when I told you at the information meeting, when you check in on Facebook, we want a short, positive sentence, right? So don't say like, hey, these guys are killing me, I can't stand them, I can't walk, I can't move, Inspire other people, like Mike was saying. Okay, if you fail to plan, you're basically planning to fail. Anybody who's done this challenge in the past will tell you that prepping your meals ahead of time and going grocery shopping ahead of time is really what's going to get you success, okay? Because a lot of times we choose what's convenient. So if we pick whatever comes our way, it's usually not going to be the best choice, right? It's usually going to be the fast food or just skipping meals altogether. So buying your food ahead of time at like a Costco or the grocery store, prepping it, buying Tupperware containers. Does anybody have Tupperware? No. If you do, buy all the same size. Or you're going to open up the drawer and everything's going to come out, okay? Because they stack real neatly. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little background. When I've done these challenges and explained the diet, we've talked about in the past, people want to know a little bit more of why you're doing what you're doing, and that'll help you stay to this diet a little bit more. When I say diet, I really mean lifestyle, because this is something that you're going to do day in and day out, become that lifestyle. So there's proteins, carbs, fats, and water, okay? Vitamins and minerals, okay? So disease comes from 2 things. I don't care if it's heart disease, hypertension, blood pressure. It usually comes from 2 things: deficiency and toxicity. Okay, you're either deficient or toxic or both. And what I mean by that is, even the vegetables, a lot of people ask me, well, Jerry, should I get organic vegetables? Should I buy organic? Does it really make a difference? It doesn't make a bit of difference in your weight loss. Because I'm going to tell you what, they have organic Rice Krispies. I don't know if you guys have been to the grocery store. So it's not going to make a bit of difference. But when it comes to like vegetables, when they do fertilizer, like when they grow your vegetables, they grow them with fertilizer. They don't really grow them with soil. And fertilizer has 3 minerals. It's sulfur, potassium. There's 3 minerals, okay? I didn't write them down. There's 3 minerals. And the vegetables that you're supposed to have grown in the soil are supposed to have 52 minerals. So you keep eating those vegetables that are supposed to have minerals in them. If it's not organic, it doesn't have those 52 minerals. So you get a deficiency in vitamins and minerals and things like that. Toxicity, processed foods. Do you guys know that sugar is toxic? That's where type 2 diabetes comes from. Most of our kids, we've been doing this for a long time, and the school actually sent us contacted us and told us that a lot of their kids are type 2 diabetic. Kids under the age of like 16. It's from too much sugar. Your body doesn't process it. So this program cuts out the sugar. It gets your metabolism going again. Okay, so when we think protein, let's think the building blocks. Everything in your body, your hair, your skin, your nails, your immune system, everything is made out of protein. The number one question I get from people isn't, am I going to have too much protein? Isn't this too much protein? There is a such thing as too much protein, but we're not going to give you too much protein. You're going to have a lot more than you're probably used to, especially the women. Normally don't eat a lot of protein. We're going to show you ways to get those protein. And when you work out, your demand for protein increases. So when you're really sore and things like that, that'll help that soreness. I don't know if you guys have ever first start working out for a week and you're really sore and you can't move. This will help with the soreness. This eating program does. When you think carbohydrates, think fuel. Carbs are energy. If you don't burn them off, you end up storing them as fat. Okay? So if you don't burn those carbs off, unless you're a marathon runner, you should have no business eating most of the amount of carbs that most people eat in a day. So carbs are fuel, and we want just the right amount to be able to work out, but not enough to where you start getting type 2 diabetes. And a side note, I know I told a lot of you guys at the information meeting, but almost everybody who's on diabetes medication, you're going to want to check with your doctor because a lot of people don't need it after a while. I think every single type 2 diabetic that did this program came off the medication. Same thing with blood pressure. If you start to feel like you're getting dizzy when you stand up or sit down, if you're on blood pressure medication, talk to your doctor. Everybody's had to come off the blood pressure meds. So, fats, think storage. So think about like all your butters, cheeses, things like that, bacon, sausage, all that stuff is storing fat, okay? Water. So we want you to have, for females, 90 ounces. For the men, we want you to have over 128 ounces. That's about a gallon a day. And people freak out, they say, wow, that's a lot of water, but really not. If you think about it, if you're eating 5 to 6 times a day, that's one of these little 16-ounce bottles each time you eat. It's not too much. It's doable if you break it down. And you know what? They did a study on sprinters, college sprinters. They were as little as 5% dehydrated. It affected their performance times by 30%. They were 30% slower. So when you translate that into working out, you're that much more lethargic, or just think about those dips you have in energy on a daily basis. Most people mistake hunger for thirst most of the time. People can't understand why they're so hungry all the time. A lot of times it's just because you're more thirsty than anything. Okay, alcohol. I always have that one person who asks me at these meetings, what about my wine? Raise your hand if you're that person. See, I like that. She did, okay. What about the wine? So there's no alcohol on this program. Why? Because your liver has to process alcohol. Alcohol is a toxin. So when you drink, obviously you get hungover the next day, right? Some of you do. When you drink, it has to go through your liver. And if the alcohol is going through your liver, it's shutting off fat burning. So you're not burning any fat the whole time until that alcohol is out of your system. And also it dehydrates you. So it's going to make you work out, less harder. So shuts down fat burning. Okay, so let's get to the diet, all right? Let's get to the nitty-gritty. Okay, I've included a recipe book. This recipe book is actually the culmination of the last year and a half. Everybody that's done this challenge, I used to hand out, you guys are lucky ones, I used to hand out this sheet right here and say, all right, there you go. And people were like, well, how do I make this food? What do I do? And over the last year, everybody in the private page ended up coming up with all their recipes, and we combined every recipe that people made, how this food, they were able to make this food taste better, okay, or different variations of it. So basically what it is, there's a recipe book that's got the smoothie recipe is not in here. It's going to be actually on this diet part, okay, on meal number 4. But there's ways to make breakfast, lunch, different things like that. So take a look at that, not today, but what we're going to go over is the diet. I've got the female version of, the male version is just slightly different. It's a little bit more food. We're not going to starve you guys. So we've got a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a protein shake in between. Okay, breakfast is going to be egg whites, a cup of spinach, and oatmeal. Okay, we're going to do oatmeal or cream of rice. Okay, you can get the normal oatmeal that you get just from the grocery store, and or you can buy the Quick Oats for the women. The Quick Oats in the package, Kroger has them. They basically are perfectly measured out to 1/3 of a cup. So you can do those too. Egg whites, you can buy the ones in the cartons, or you can crack the eggs yourself. And if you look in the recipe book, they have a little cool recipe on how to make muffins. They make all different things out of this actual breakfast. You can make like 3 different variations out of this breakfast. Now, in between breakfast and lunch, you're going to do a protein shake. I recommend a whey protein. Why? I recommend this brand right here. Again, I'm not in this to make money off supplements. You can get it from GNC or whatever. The biggest reason why we use this one, it's a pure whey protein that doesn't upset your stomach and it tastes good. Okay, they use this with bariatric patients, so it doesn't have any lactose or anything that's going to irritate your stomach. And most people have tried protein in the past. They've either tried like the Costco brand that didn't taste very good, it has all that extra crap in it. This is just pure protein, so I recommend using the IsoPure if you want to have a good experience with the protein. Use the vanilla if you're going to be doing it with the smoothies. Now, for the protein shake, if you look at meal 4, you can either put all the ingredients together in a blender, or the raspberries, the strawberries, or you can eat them separate. It doesn't matter. It makes a bigger shake and fills you up more if you put it in a blender. So for lunch, we're going to do a 4-ounce turkey burger or chicken breast, okay? Half a sweet potato, and then either broccoli, cauliflower, or Brussels sprouts. Why do we do those? Everything is here for a specific reason, okay? It all increases the fat burning. It helps process environmental bad estrogens, things like that. Everything works for a reason, okay? This is part of FTDI. So sweet potatoes. I'm going to give you guys a little tip on the sweet potatoes. Kroger's and some of the other grocery stores have the sweet potatoes in the cellophane. You can put them in the microwave for 8 minutes and you've got a sweet potato already made. It's perfectly made. So you can boil them. There's a lot of different recipes in here on how to do them. I actually had a woman, you know, some people don't like the texture of sweet potatoes. By the way, there's going to be something on this page that everybody hates always one thing on this page. You got to give it a try at first, okay? I had a woman, she cut up the sweet potatoes with a crinkle cutter, and they cut them into like little fries, like little carrot sticks. She ate them cold. They taste just like a carrot. So, or ate them raw, yeah. They taste just like a carrot. So experiment with the food. You don't have to eat it exactly as it, you compare it different ways to make it taste better, okay? Turkey burgers, we want the 93% lean, okay? So when you go to the restaurants, a little tip, your restaurant isn't going to give you a lean turkey burger. They're going to give you the fatty one that they think tastes better, okay? So you want to get the ones from the grocery store. You don't want to go out to eat when you're doing this challenge because you're going to get a lot of extra salt, a lot of extra fats in there. So in between lunch and dinner, you're going to do another protein shake, okay? Same thing, you're going to do the smoothie with raspberries and strawberries, okay? For dinner, we're going to do 4 ounces of any type of white fish, okay? For the guys, it's going to be a little bit higher ounces. You're going to do like cod, tilapia, swordfish. Those are all white fish. You can do any one of those. The salad, okay? So you're going to do 4 cups of romaine lettuce. You can do like cucumbers in it. You don't have to have all those things. I put their optional on there. You don't have to have all those things in there. The more vegetables you have, the more vitamins. That's where you get all your vitamins and minerals. A lot of people tell me, they're like, well, how do I get my vitamin C without my orange juice? A lot of this has more vitamin C in it than, you know, all your vegetables have all your vitamins and minerals in it. Okay? Dressing, you're going to do 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and 1 tablespoon of, you know, you can do red wine vinegar or balsamic vinegar. Okay? I had somebody ask me, can I do apple cider vinegar? That's fine too. Okay.
Or Jerry, you did mustard too.
Yes. Yep. If you look in there, actually that's a good point. Somebody made a mustard recipe, like a mustard salad recipe or salad dressing recipe. In here, there's a lot of good ideas. Okay, so meal 6 is optional. Why is it optional? Because if you go to bed hungry, you're going to wake up hungry. I don't believe in that nonsense of not eating before you go to bed, okay? If you eat the right things before you go to bed, you're not having a bunch of carbohydrates. So if you eat the right things before you go to bed, you're not going to go to bed hungry, you're not going to wake up hungry, okay? That's the most important thing. So that meal 6 is not going to affect your weight loss one bit. And one little tip I'm going to give you guys, if you look at the breakfast on meal 1, I've had people that say, well, I'm not very hungry in the morning, and they eat just the egg whites or just the oatmeal. Guess what? They didn't lose as much weight. They always get to a sticking point. You have to eat everything on there, okay? And you have to do it in the order in which we put it on there, okay? It's there for a reason. We didn't just make it up and say, well, let's hope this way works. You know, we've done this with over 600 people, so we know it works if you do it just how it's written here, okay? I don't really recommend a lot of supplements. Fish oil is one of them. So we're going to have 3 fish oil a day. I recommend the Mega Red. You can get it like CVS or Walgreens. And you can do the Costco brand, but I'm going to tell you what, if you get cheap fish oil, guess what happens? Fish burps. Okay, it's nasty, all right? So spices, you can use all the flavors of Mrs. Dash. Who here has used Mrs. Dash before? Okay, pretty straightforward. They have every single flavor you can think of. Pepper, you can use yellow mustard, you can use cinnamon on your stuff. Truvia is the fake stevia they have at grocery stores. Buy the real stevia. It's a natural sweetener. It comes from a plant. It's not the fake stuff. You can buy that at like a health food store. Now, ESC, you'll see that's not just a key on your computer. You know, what we call it's empty stomach cardio. So who here is going to be working out at 5:30 a.m.? Raise your hand. Okay, so you don't want to come to class on an empty stomach. Okay, you don't want to do a workout where your heart rate's really high on an empty stomach. We only want to do walking on an empty stomach. Why? Because your body doesn't have any food in it, and basically you're going to burn all your stored body fat. Okay, so you're going to lose more weight. In our experience, if you do that 7 days, I tell people shoot for 7 days. If you get 5 or 6, I'd rather see you fail forward. I'd rather see you get 5 or 6 out of 7 than getting 3 out of 3. So shoot for 7 days of walking every single day, okay? Right before you eat breakfast. But don't ever come to a workout on an empty stomach. And I can say this 5 times, but somebody's going to do it. They're going to feel lightheaded. You don't want to work out where your heart rate's a little bit higher on an empty stomach because you can get something called low blood sugar. All the measurements are done before you cook. So we're going to do a Q&A after. So if you guys have any questions, and we're going to do a Q&A after. I know some of you have to leave, but all right. So some frequently asked questions. I told you about the eggs and oatmeal. Okay, you always want to eat the food combinations we give you together. Don't skip anything that's on there. You want to have everything. How much should I lose per week? Okay, we have guidelines on how much you want to lose every single week. We want you 8 pounds down by week 2. 8 pounds down by week 2, 10 pounds by week 3, and 12 pounds by week 4. Everybody scratches their head, well, how am I going to lose 20 in 6 weeks? Don't worry, we've got it figured out, okay? So those are the minimum amount. But don't freak out if you're ever at that point and you're not there. We'll show you ways to do it, okay? I'll let you guys read through the rest of it on your own. Okay, so that is the nutrition. That's the diet as followed. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let everybody who's here that needs to leave can leave, okay? When I tell you, not yet. And the rest of you, we're going to do a Q&A up front on a more one-on-one basis. So everybody, I'm sure, is going to have some individual questions on what to do, why we're doing what we're doing. And if anybody wants protein, Jeanette and Ruth are going to be over here. They can get you protein. I would suggest going with this protein. But before we leave...
You sell it cheaper, too.
Yeah, we do sell it cheaper than in grocery stores. Before we leave, okay, does everybody remember those 4 letters that I said? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a little chant, okay? On 3, I'm going to say, I will. And then you're going to say, FBI. Okay, but you got to say it really loud. All right, you ready? I will. Come on. Let's try one more time. Ready? I will. I will. One more time. I will. Thank you. All right, for those of you who have to leave, you can leave now. For anybody who has questions, Dr. Mike and I will be up here.